Good morning everyone. I am Marilu M. Susukan together with Sir Danny Boy P. Garcia, and our topic is about the Collective Negotiation Agreement. Collective Negotiation Agreement or CNA is a contract negotiated between an accredited employees organization as the negotiating unit and the employer or the management. So, ano po yung kanilang gagawa ng kontrata? So, it is about the terms and conditions of employment and its improvements that are not fixed by law. Collective bargaining or negotiation contributes to the establishment of just and equitable working conditions and other benefits, thereby contributing to social and industrial peace. So, ito po yung purpose ng pagkakaroon ng collective negotiation agreement between the employees, organization, and management. Collective bargaining is one of the most important and useful institutions developed since the end of the 19th century as a powerful instrument of dialogue between workers and employers' organization. The public sector unionism is also described to be a unique arrangement. The right to form union was banned during the early years of martial law imposition in 1970s. However, right after the EDSA revolution, the right to organize union was restored through an executive order number 180 with the implementing rules as contained in the series of PSLMC promulgations, which is a policy-making body that decides on issues arising from the implementation of Executive Order 180. So, yung PSLMC po ay yung Public Sector Labor Management Council. So, sila yung policy-making body that decides on issues arising from the implementation of EO 180 or the Collective Negotiation Agreement. So, what are the legal foundations of the Collective Negotiation Agreement? First is the UN instruments. Second is the ILO conventions. Third is the 1987 Philippine Constitution. Fourth is the 1974 Labor Code of the Philippines. And number 5, Executive Order 180. So, freedom of association is the absolute freedom to live in a community. The freedom to be part of an organization whose values or culture are closely related to what one wants. The freedom to associate with any individual one chooses, or the freedom to choose not to associate. So, yun po yung mga definition of freedom of association. So, ayon sa Convention 87, entitled Freedom of Association, Protection on the Right to Self-Organization, to establish and join organizations of their own choosing, to establish federations and confederations, and the right to affiliate internationally. So, ito po yung mga rights ng mga employees na nakalagay doon sa Convention 87. Sa Convention 98 naman, entitled Right to Organize, Right to Negotiate Collectively, and the Right to Strike. So, dito nakalagay ang anti-union discrimination, determination of the terms and conditions of employment through collective bargaining. Convention 151, Labor Relations Public Service Convention, establishes procedures appropriate to national conditions in determining terms and conditions of employment in the public sector. So, sa Convention 154 naman, entitled Collective Bargaining Convention, collective bargaining extends to all negotiations which take place between an employer, a group of employers, or one or more employers' organizations on the one hand, and one or more workers' organization. Then, constitutional rights na nakalagay sa ating 1987 Philippine Constitution, Section 8, Article 3, Bill of Rights. the right of the people, including those employed in the public and private sectors, to form unions, associations, or societies for purposes not contrary to law shall not be abridged. So, sa 1987 Philippine Constitution pa rin, Section 2, Article 9B, Civil Service Commission, nakalagay doon, the right to self-organization shall not be denied to government employees. Section 2, Article 13, Social Justice and Human Rights, the state shall afford full protection to labor and promote full employment and equality of opportunities to all. Section 3, Article 13, Social Justice and Human Rights. It shall guarantee the rights of all workers to self-organization, collective bargaining and negotiations, and peaceful concerted activities, including the right to strike in accordance with law. They shall be entitled to security of tenure, humane conditions of work, and a living wage. The state shall promote the principle of shared responsibility between workers and employers and the preferential use of voluntary modes in settling disputes, including conciliation, and shall enforce their mutual compliance therewith to foster industrial peace. The state shall regulate the relations between workers and employers, recognizing the right of labor to its just share in the fruits of production and the right of enterprises to reasonable returns to investments and to expansion and growth. So, nakalagay po sa Labor Code of the Philippines, Article 244, right of employees in the public sector. Employees of government corporations established under the Corporation Code shall have the right to organize and to bargain collectively with their respective employers. All other employees in the civil service shall have the right to form association for purposes not contrary to law. Article 246, non-abridgment of right to self-organization. It shall be unlawful for any person to restrain, coerce, discriminate against, or unduly interfere with employees and workers in their exercise of the right to self-organization. Executive Order Number 180, Rules and Regulations to govern the exercise of the right of government employees to self-organization. Define our constitutional rights to organize, bargain collectively, and engage in peaceful, concerted actions in accordance with the provisions of the 1987 Constitution. So, yun po yung mga legal basis ng collective negotiation agreement. So, meron po ditong mga tanong about collective negotiation agreement and their answers. So, number 1, who can enter into a collective negotiation agreement or CNA? So, nabanggit din po kanina, it is an accredited union and the employer or management can enter into a collective negotiation agreement. When can a union start negotiation with management? It is after a certificate of union accreditation is issued and within 1 year, the union shall submit its CNA proposal to management. So, magkakaroon po muna ng Certificate of Union Accreditation yung employees organization and magsasubmit sila ng CNA proposal to management. So, when shall the collective negotiation agreement can take effect? So, upon its signing of the parties and ratification by majority of the rank and file employees in the negotiating unit to be done within 90 calendar days. Otherwise, the application for registration shall be denied. So, what are the steps in collective negotiation between the unions and management? First is the drafting of CNA proposal. Then, the approval and ratification of the proposed CNA by the general membership of the union. Then, submission by the union of the CNA proposal to the management. Then, negotiation between the management and union. Then, the signing of the parties of the CNA. Then, posting of signed CNA in conspicuous places for 7 days in the agency and ratification by the majority rank and file employees. So, hanggang dyan lang po ang aking topic. Ang next reporter is si Sir Danny na po. Thank you.
Okay, good morning, classmate. For the continuation of the discussion of Ma'am Susukan about collective negotiation agreement, so my topic assigned to me is about what can be negotiated. So number 1, schedule of vacation and other leaves. Number 2, personal growth and development. Number 3, communication system, internal, lateral, and vertical, and external. Number 4, work assignment, reassignment, details transfer. Number 5, distribution of workload. Number 6, provision for protection and safety. Number 7, provision for facilities for handicapped personnel. Number 8, provision for first aid medical service and supply. Number 9, physical fitness program. Number 10, provision for family planning services for married women. Number 11, annual medical physical examination. Number 12, recreational, social, athletic, and cultural activities and facilities. Number 13, collective negotiation agreement incentive pursuant to PSLMC Resolution Number 4, Series of 2002, and Resolution Number 2, Series of 2003. And the last one, such other concern which are not prohibited by the law and the Civil Service Commission rules and regulation. So the example of negotiable items, we have here 8. Number 1, bulletin boards and union office. Number 2, compensatory time off or overtime pay. Number 3, grace period on hours of work. Number 4, hazard pay. Number 5, representation in committees. Number 6, stipend for scholars. Number 7, union time off. And number 8, union or space. So kung kanina yung negotiated, ito naman yung cannot be negotiated. So where's compensation methods? So number 1, increase in salary. Number 2, allowance. Number 3, travel expenses. And the last one, other benefits that are specifically provided by law. So example of non-negotiable items. So number 1, allowances and their allowances. Letter A, Christmas grocery allowance. Letter B, rice allowance. Letter C, subsistence allowance. Number 2, bonuses. So under bonuses, meron tayong 4. Letter A, anniversary bonus. Letter B, birthday month bonus. Letter C, Christmas bonus or cash gift. Letter D, loyalty bonus. So under assistant aid insurance, letter A, bereavement assistance. Letter B, social development assistance. Letter C, death benefit. Letter D, calamity aid. Letter E, crisis management aid. And letter F, insurance. So under other monetary benefits, so letter A, fringe benefits. Letter B, longevity pay. Letter C, year-end benefits. And letter D, 14th month pay. For healthcare maintenance, letter A, annual healthcare benefits. Letter B, hospitalization assistance. Letter C, medical, dental, and optical health maintenance program. And letter D, work-connected injury. For leaves, letter A, chronic illness or disease leave. Letter B, day off for travel and travel leave. Letter C, emergency leave, special leave privileges. And other privileges, letter A, employment of next of kin. Letter B, housing program. And letter C, service vehicle. So what are the essential provision of collective negotiation agreement? So generally, collective negotiation agreements contains the following essential provision. So number 1, declaration of principles. Number 2, coverage scope of representation. Number 3, union recognition and security. Number 4, union rights and privileges. Number 5, management prerogatives and responsibilities and union responsibilities and accountabilities. Number 6, recruitment, placement, and career development. Number 7, health and safety. Number 8, cost-cutting measures. Number 9, employees benefits program. Number 10, grievance machinery. Number 11, dispute resolution. Number 12, entirety and modification clause. Number 13, separability clause. And number 14, effectivity and duration. So the collective negotiation agreement incentives, this is a cash incentives in whatever forms provided in the collective negotiation agreements and its supplements, which is granted in the PSLMC Resolution Number 4 Series of 2002 and PSLMC Resolution Number 2 Series of 2003, or the regionalized cash incentives granted to the government employees concerned who have contributed, either it is productivity or cost savings in an agency, in fulfillment of the commitment in the collective negotiation agreements or supplement thereto. So the Department of Budget of Management, Budget Circular Number 2021-3, November 17, 2021, Collective Negotiation Agreement Incentive. So this may be granted to both management and rank-and-file employees of agencies with approved and successfully implemented the collective negotiation agreements in recognition of their efforts in accomplishing performance targets at lesser cost, in attaining more efficient and viable operation through cost-cutting measures and system improvement. So where can the collective negotiation agreements incentives be sourced? So the incentive shall be sourced solely from the savings generated as a result of the cost-cutting measures, systems improvement agreed upon by the union, association, and the agency management. Hence, the incentives cannot be given upon signing of the agreement by the parties, otherwise it will partake of the nature of the signing bonus. Are non-member rank-and-file employees entitled to collective negotiation agreement incentives? Yes, as an accredited employees organization, the concerned union represents not only its member, but the entire rank-and-file employees. Hence, the collective negotiation agreement incentives is available even the non-member rank-and-file employees subject to their payments of agency fee pursuant to PSLMC Resolution Number 1 Series of 1993. So the legal basis for the grant of collective negotiation agreements, incentives, so ito po yung mga legal basis. The PSLMC Resolution Number 4 Series of 2002 grant of collective negotiation agreement incentive for national government agencies, state universities and colleges, and local government units. Another legal basis for the grant of CNA incentives, PSLMC Resolution Number 2 of Series of 2003, or grant of collective negotiation agreement incentives for government-owned and controlled corporation, GOCCs, and the government financial institution, GFIs. Next, Administrative Order Number 135 dated December 27, 2005, authorizing the grant of collective negotiation agreement CNA incentives to employees in government agencies. Next, Department of Budget and Management, Budget Circular Number 2006-1, dated February 1, 2006, grant of collective negotiation agreement CNA incentive. Then the legal basis for the grant of CNA incentives, COA Resolution Number 2006-009, dated June 6, 2006, guidelines and the disposition, resolution of appeals, petition for review, request for reconsideration of various disallowances on the grant of the collective negotiation agreement or CNA incentive by various national government agencies or NGS, local government units or LGUs, government-owned and controlled corporation or GOCCs, and government financial institution GFIs pending with commission proper. Okay, so ang example po namin dito ng sa collective negotiation agreement about under the agreement of Department of Education or DepEd and the Department of Education National Employees Union or DepEd in EU. So, ito yung dalawang parties na nag-agreed about doon sa collective negotiation agreement. So, base doon sa mga binasa ko, lahat ng mga pwedeng maging negotiated at saka na-negotiated ay nakalagay po dito sa kanilang agreement, sa kanilang collective negotiation agreement. So, nakalagay dito yung kanilang siyempre mga membership fee, union dues, agency fee, and sa union recognition, so union as sole and exclusive negotiating agent, so the Department of Education and the union. Then, under Section 2 naman, non-discrimination. So, next, Section 3, official time off. So, under Section 3-1, national and international trade union activities. Then, under Section 4, flexible work schedule. Next, Section 5, payment of overtime services. Section 6, union facilities and equipment. So, under Section 6-1, service vehicle. 6.2, office space and furniture fixtures and equipment. 6.3, operating and maintenance expenses. Section 7, automatic payroll deduction system, APDS. Then Section 8, agency fees. Section 9, transient quarters. Section 10, personnel quarters. Section 11, fundraising activities. Section 12, union financial report. Section 13, union representation. Section 14, transparency. Section 15, submission of union officers roster. Section 16, roster of department personnel. Section 17, financial reports and other references. Section 18, dissemination of DepEd issuances. Section 19, orientation on public sector unionism. Section 20, collective negotiation agreement printing. And so under Article 5, recruitment, promotion, and termination. So meron Section 1, adherence with Civil Service Commission policies and personnel action. Section 2, next in rank system. Section 3, opportunity to be hired as regular employees. Then under Section 1, year-end collective negotiation incentives. So yun na nga, kung ma-attain ng ating agency, kagaya dito ng Department of Education National Employees Union, kung ma-attain nila yung mga nabanggit kanina na i-consider para ma-attain natin yung incentives na yon, ay makakakuha sila ng mga bonuses. So kailangan yung kagaya kanina, cost cutting, yung nagamit ng tama yung budget, na-explain nila doon sa Commission on Audit, yung lahat-lahat ng mga expenses. So, makukuha ng union ang kanilang mga collective negotiation agreement bonuses or incentives. So, Section 2, year-end groceries gift certificates. So, yun, makakakuha sila ng mga ganon. Then, Section 3, employment severance token. And Section 4, loyalty awards. So, yung kanila amount ay depende po sa years in service. So, dito po sa DepEd, sa Department of Union and Employees Union, so, sa years in service, 10 years, cost is 3,000 to 5,000, 15, 5,500 to 7,500, 20, 8,000 to 10,000, 25, 10,500 to 12,500, 30 years, 13,000 to 15,000, 35 years, 15,000 to 17,500, 40 years, 35,000 to 40,000, 45 years, 40,000 to 45 years. So, yun yung magiging basihan ng inyong loyalty award sa isang union base doon sa agreement na inyong napirmahan ng dalawang parties. Section 5, health insurance and annual medical check-up for employees. So, nakalagay din yan dito. Kagaya ng mga nabanggit kanina. Section 6, service and relief efforts during disaster. Section 7, quarantine facilities, isolation area during pandemic. So, naka-base talaga ito ngayong pandemya sa COVID-19. Section 8, union leaves. Section 9, funding for athletic, cultural, physical, and mental fitness activities. Section 10, shuttle bus vehicle services. And for benefits and program on welfare and development, so Section 1, payments of benefits and assistance to retirees. Section 2, daycare facilities. Section 3, non-sick Tarian, prayer room, or workshop hall. Section 4, expenses for continuing professional development. Next, implementation and monitoring scheme. So section 1, union management coordinating committee. So, and for effectivity and continuity clause, so section 1, effectivity. Section 2, implementing guidelines. Section 3, renegotiation and freedom period. That's end for our reports. Thank you so much and God bless.